and welcome. My name is Lexi Jong, and here I like to talk about luxury beauty. Today we are talking about an alternative to the SUQQU Face Brush. And if you haven't heard, the SUQQU Squirrel hair brushes are being discontinued. They are getting harder and harder to find. If you find them and you see them available for sale, it's something you've been interested in, don't wait. They are going very quickly. People on eBay are like, totally skyrocketing the prices. Don't buy them there. But anyway, they are going away. So one of the brushes that's really hard to find in particular is the SUQQU Face Brush. And I decided I wanted to see if I could find something similar. So this is the SUQQU Face Brush. I just washed it. Sorry, you can see mine's a little misshapen right now from the way it dried. But this is the SUQQU Face Brush. And one of the things that makes it really unique is the way that the hairs are angled. I want to say cut, but these are not cut. These are all hand placed, and you can see that our angle starts here. And that makes this brush very, very versatile. I actually like to use this for blush. I use it for all over powder, and you can also use it for highlight on the tip. So it's a very, very versatile brush. Now it is expensive. It's a little bit harder to find. I purchased mine from Harrods, and it's one of those ones that even when it is at Harrods, it doesn't stay available very long. So if you see it there, you still have to think pretty quickly. So, you've got more than like minutes, but when I bought mine shortly thereafter, it was available online. I think it was there for maybe 1 or 2 days before it sold out. So it's not a long time that you will see these things available. And now that the news that these are being discontinued has come out, they're going even faster. So if it's something you want and you see it, pick it up. But when I did my review just a couple weeks ago on the SUQQU Squirrel hair brushes, which was right before we knew that they were being discontinued, I had realized that the SUQQU cheek brush was very, very similar. I apologize, mine are wet right now because I just washed them, but the SUQQU cheek brush and the Kyureido Kiwami cheek brush are very similar. And the Kyureido Kiwami large eyeshadow brush is very similar to the SUQQU L brush. So I wanted to try the Kyureido Kiwami powder brush or face brush. So I just received that this week, and I want to show you how similar they are. So you can see that there is a difference between them. Okay, so here's the height. So over here, this one is the SUQQU. And then in my left hand, we have the Kyureido Kiwami. Now you can see that the Kyureido is a little bit taller, a little bit longer here in the head, but we do have that same angle shape here as well. Now again, this one is just a little bit more pressed because of the way it dried, but the angle shape here is pretty much the same. One of the things I have noticed is I do think that this is a little bit flatter on the top than the SUQQU. I mean, they're both flat, but I feel like there's a larger area of flatness on the top, but it's very, very slight. And these seem to be about the same diameter. The handles are almost the same. I mean, look at this. But aesthetically, I'm not sure how well this picks up on the camera, but you see the sparkle in here. The Kyureido has is gold with like an ombre sparkle. So you've got more condensed sparkle here at the base, and it kind of fades up. Whereas the SUQQU is going to be solid black, and then you have the SUQQU name here. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at these and how they perform on the cheeks. On my skin right now, I have the Sislea Le Teint foundation and a little bit of the Bobbi Brown what are they? The cheek sticks, new cheek sticks in Mauve Rose. And that's all I have on my face. It's been on for a couple of hours now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add some powder. We'll add some powder blush as well, so you can see how these brushes perform side by side. All right, so on the right side of my face, we are going to be dealing with SUQQU. This here is the Givenchy Prisme Libre loose powder in number 1, Mousseline Pastel. And just going to get some of this on the brush and tapping off the excess. So I don't want too much on here. And let's go ahead and this on, and notice the way the bristles like kind of bend and flow. This is incredibly soft and it feels very, very nice. Now on the other side, do the same thing with the Kyureido Kiwami brush. Notice the way that all of the bristles bend and swirl. Very, very similar. All right, so I realize that putting powder on, sometimes, you know, you can see how the brush performs, like how it bends and so forth, but it is a little bit harder to see how it performs in application. So we're gonna go ahead and add some powder blush, and we're gonna use the Pat McGrath in Divine Rose. So still sticking with SUQQU on the right. Now, one of the things, I mean, barely tapping this, you can see how much pigment comes up, which is quite a bit for, you know, squirrel hair. And I personally like to use the angle of this. So here is the Divine Rose applied with that. We'll add a little bit more so you can see that. Look how natural that ends up looking. I mean, obviously the color is not, you know, it's a little bit more vibrant, but just the way that it diffuses onto the cheek and the way the edges blur, it's a really great brush, and it works really nicely with blush as well. Now, same deal with the Kyureido. And we'll just add a little bit more like we did on the other side. And one last test, we'll go ahead and use the tips of the bristles with some highlight. For highlight, I'm taking the Laura Mercier. This is the Rose Glow highlight. Just gonna go in just a little bit here on the tip, knock that off, and just lightly put that on. You can see how you can like target it. Now this is a soft highlight. It's not super blingy. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so Kyureido. You can see how you can still get that in a targeted application. I think you can see that pretty well. All right, fine. Let's make that a little bit blingier. We're gonna take the Guerlain Meteorites. This is the Pearl Dust palette. We're gonna go into the gold shade here. And look at that. One of the things I love about this highlighter is, do you notice the little bit of blurring effect you get with it? I think that's one of the things that makes this highlight special in particular, because blingy highlights can really emphasize texture. And not to say that, you know, depending on how you put this on, that you won't get any sort of emphasis, but it does have a blurring ability, which really helps reduce that. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and apply some finishing powder too, so you can really see everything the brushes do. So we're going to go into the Meteorites from Guerlain in light. Now, usually I prefer a buffing style brush with this, but you'll get to kind of see how this goes on. So I hope those application demos were helpful. Overall, I would have to say that if you can't get your hands on the SUQQU Face Brush, you're not going to be disappointed with the Kyureido Kiwami brush. In my opinion, it's a dupe, or vice versa. The rumor is that Kyureido actually makes the SUQQU brushes, so I'm not sure technically who duped who first. But yeah, I would say that they are pretty equivalent. So definitely check those out. I purchased my Kyureido brush from Fude Beauty, and I will leave that down below. I'm not affiliated, but there is a referral code if you are a first-time customer where you can get, like, I forget, but you can get some dollars off your purchase. So I will leave a link to that and to the brush down below in the description box if you are interested. And as always, when I see the SUQQU Face Brush pop up, I will alert you on Instagram. I'll put it in my stories. So definitely make sure you are checking there. I'm at Alexis Jong on Instagram. And I think that these are both fantastic brushes. You know, I think they're like 99.9% the same. So I think the only real difference is that the Kyureido is slightly longer and it's pretty minimal. I mean, look at that. It's a pretty minimal difference there. The shape is pretty much the same. I do feel like perhaps we have a little bit more of a shallow angle on the SUQQU compared to the Kyureido, but it's pretty close. So I think this is going to be the best dupe you're going to be able to get for it. I don't think you would be disappointed with either of these brushes. If you have experience with either or both of these, I'd love to know your thoughts on these brushes down below, and let me know what you guys would like to see next, and I will see you guys very soon. I hope this was helpful, and have a great day and stay safe and healthy.